Hello, I'm Daniel Herrick from danielherrick.com, and this is the first of my video diaries for my new project, Why Do We Do It? A film about passions and emotions in sport, and this is going to be the first along the whole project. I'm going to be keeping you up to date with what's going on. In this one, we're going to talk about the background, how this project came about, what research I've done so far, what key players are in this project, and I've got an exclusive at the end of this film, so stay tuned for that, and let's get into it. So let's talk a little bit more about why do we do it. Let's talk about how I got there. So about a month ago I decided I wanted to make a film, and I was bouncing around some subjects, some topics that I wanted to do on, and I had a few ideas, but nothing really resonated with me other than this one, and it's one I've done before, and it's passions and emotions in sport. Why do we do sport? You know, why do we put ourselves through sport? Why do athletes push themselves to breaking point? Why do fans return to see their team lose sometimes every week? Being a Newcastle United fan, I know that all too well. And I wanted to explore that a little bit more and make a film around that, because there's no greater drama than sport. So I did some research. I started researching with some flip charts. I was doing spider diagrams, and I was writing down big words, and I was reading psychology reports. And I was actually getting away from the reason I wanted to make the film. I was looking at it as like a math problem than an actual thing that I wanted to do. You know, I'm rubbish at math, so this is the last thing I wanted to do. So I stepped away from that sort of research, and I went and watched the Champions League final. Two teams in that, both from Germany, got no vested interest in either, Borussia Dortmund and Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich, the big sort of powerhouses of German football, loads of money, some world-class players right at the top of the game, probably the best team in the world right now. And then Borussia Dortmund, the sort of second team in Germany. They'd finished second in the league, and they were there sort of to upset the apple cart, and they could really do it. They had a good chance, and there already is a story. There is the drama, the perennial sort of middle team trying to overthrow the powerhouse of German football. So we watched the game with great intrigue, and Bayern Munich took the lead, and we sort of kept watching, and then Borussia Dortmund got a penalty and they scored, and we were off our seats. We were cheering as if it was our own team, but we had no interest in these teams. But it sucks you in, football, and it sucks you in with that drama. And the final twist in that was Ian Robben scoring with like 2 minutes to go. And the year before, when Bayern Munich were in the final against Chelsea, he'd underperformed, and a lot of the Bayern Munich fans, a lot of the press, a lot of the media actually blamed Ian Robben for their loss in that final. So for him to score with 2 minutes to go, the winning goal, he'd sort of vanquished all that. He'd become the hero. He'd gone from zero to hero in that game. And you could see it in his eyes when he was celebrating. You could see how much it meant to him to score that goal. He'd been trying so hard, and he'd sort of he hadn't had the best game, but he'd had a game where it was much better than the year before, and you could see a weight lift off his shoulders. And that's when I realised that's the film I want to make. That's what I want to make it about. The highs and lows from being a nothing to having nothing, and being blamed for losing a final to winning a final the next year. And previous to this, I'd been in contact with a poet called Loretta Livingstone. And I've got a book here, Hopes, Dreams and Medals, including Ice on Fire. There's 2 books in one there. I'll give you links to how to buy these books later, and it's a really good book, really good poems in there, even if you're not into poetry, and as you can see, it's well thumbed. And there were 2 poems in there that stood out to me that I thought maybe I could use these. And then, of all places, in the shower, where I usually have my best ideas, I came up with the idea that I should use a poem as the spine of my film, and that should tell the story. So I contacted Loretta over Twitter, as you do, and I asked her, would it be possible for you to write me a poem that describes why we do sport? This is a bit tentative, obviously. It's a big task. And I wasn't expecting anything for days, and then she tweeted me the next day saying, I've got something. I was like, okay, I need to hear this. And she phoned me up the next day, and she read it to me over the phone, and I was instantly blown away. It was exactly what I wanted, and in that moment, listening to that poem, I could picture in my mind every clip of the film that I want to make. And that's where we are now. She's written the poem, she's getting it copyrighted, she's actually sent me over a contract today, which we have both signed, to say that we are happy to have exclusivity on this poem. It's going to be used in my film, and I'm very, very excited. So that's the background behind Why Do We Do It. I'm going to take you now on how you can help me out, and then I'm going to give you some links to how to follow the progress of this, and where you can buy books by Loretta Livingstone. So how can you help me? Well, sport is for everybody. It's not just the athletes, it's not just the top Premier League footballers, it's not for the elite. It's for everybody, and that's why we love sport, and that's why I want to do this film. So I want you to get involved and tell me why you love sport and why you go to sport, whether you're a football fan, a cricket fan, a snooker fan, whether you play any of those sports, whether you participate in local marathons, whether you're a physio, whether you know someone who makes tea for your team, but they're there every week supporting you and cheering you on. I want to hear from you, and I want to hear from them, because I want to know what makes us do this. I could read any number of psychology reports, I could write down any number of things that I feel about sport, but it wouldn't read the broad spectrum and tell me why we do sport. And that's what I want to find out for this film. There's another reason behind that, which I'm going to allude to a little bit later on in this video diary. But for now, if you can contact me, the email will be running along the bottom here. It's why do we do it at danielherrick.com. So you can email me there. You can also contact me over social media. The links again will be at the end of this film, and you can find the links also on my website, www.danielherrick.com. So that's kind of it for now. I've given you a little bit of background about why I'm doing the film and how it came about, and I've asked you to get involved. So say links to all that will be at the end of this film. But before I go, I want to leave you with an exclusive that I've not told anyone yet. So it's completely exclusive to this video diary, and that's how I'm going to release information. Some of the times it'll be exclusive on my blog, sometimes it'll be exclusive on my website, sometimes it'll be exclusive here. So you need to keep in touch with all my outlets. So the exclusive bit of information this week is that along with the film, I'll also be producing a photo book or a book. So get in touch. Let me know your sporting heroes, your sporting memories, your greatest sporting moment, and your heroes of sport. Not just the athletes, it's like your Maradonas or your Beckhams or people like that. I want to know your local heroes of sport. Who turns up to your local league games every week? Who's there putting the kit out? Who's bankrolling your team so that you can play sport? And who's the fan who sits next to you every week, painted up to the eyeballs, supporting his team with all he's got, and spends all his money travelling across the world to see his team play or his sport that he loves so much or she loves so much? So get in touch. All of my social media will be on after this video. My email will be on there as well for the film. You can also get a link to Treasure Chest Books below to buy this book by Loretta Livingstone. Her Twitter will also be on there as well. So get in touch, buy Loretta's book, and give me some feedback. Leave a comment below as well, and you can watch this on YouTube and on my website, whichever one you're watching it on. So keep in touch, leave comments on my Facebook, hit me up on Twitter, do all that sort of stuff, and I will see you in the next video diary for Why Do We Do It.